Hi, this is Andy Turner, the Education Technologist at Illinois College. Today I wanted to show you how to use Qlikview for a sample database looking at movies. Qlikview is a piece of software that will let you analyze data, and that supports one of the primary areas of learning at Illinois College, according to the Blueprint Gen Ed program, inquiry and analysis, to develop conclusive evidence that your analysis of a given public problem or a private issue in an organization has some kind of bearing on the resulting analysis that you have developed. So the result of the analysis of data can come from your own process of inquiry and analysis, and how does that stack up to the ideas of the group, and how can you relate your ideas about that analysis that you developed to the group's analysis as a whole. So if we think about movies as far as movie data, that's something that we're fairly all familiar with. So in Kirby 244 we have this new product Qlikview that we're installing, and you can always go to qlikview.com, that's Qlik view.com, and just go to the overview and you can see a product tour, and it shows some really cool videos, and we've already installed some tutorials. And all you have to do in Windows 8 or Windows 7 is just hit the Windows button on the keyboard, and it'll bring up the search and type in Qlik. So we'll go ahead and open up Qlikview 11. Now Qlikview should already be licensed. You can download the tutorial on your own computer. Qlikview is a free product for personal edition. We have an academic license, and that will give us some opportunities on down the road to share solutions from teachers to students. But in this lesson, we'll just open up an existing solution for each user to find out about on their own. So in Qlikview, here we have it open, and we're just going to navigate to File, Open. Now the first path that opens by default, at least on this computer, is the Documents folder. But Qlikview is located on the C drive, down to Program Files, and then down to Qlikview, then to Examples, then to Documents, and then you can see several examples. One of them that I think is interesting is the Movies database for a first-time user. So the Movies database, the tabs along the top we'll walk through together. We'll just spend a few minutes on each tab, and then for the tutorial I'll just show you a couple of examples that show what you can do with a large set of data to pull out a report. So in this report, basically I'm going to look up the movies that Tim Burton has directed, that Johnny Depp and Jack Nicholson have worked on as actors in that movie, and then what the ratings are. And we'll look at another movie from the middle 90s called 12 Monkeys, and then we'll export that, see what the rating is of that movie, what year was it released, and all the actors involved. So if you have a large sample set of data, for example, your budget for different budgets, for different vendors, different customers, accounts payable, accounts receivable, you can see how charting data would make sense over time. So let's go ahead and get started here. Qlikview has an association based on color, and as you can see here, if we select apple, apple is green, banana is gray, and lime is gray, because those don't have a relationship outside of being a fruit, and that's why they're in the same table. Colors in white, an apple can be green or red, so that's white, but an apple usually isn't yellow, so that's in gray. Non-associated values, as it says here, will turn gray. Now if I click banana instead, Now yellow is white because white is associated with green. Green and white means that there is an association. But if I hold control and click apple and banana, then an apple can be, an apple or a banana can be all these colors. This is an or, not an and. So apples, it doesn't make sense to have an apple and a banana, but anyway, lime, if we select that instead, now that's only going to turn out green. Now up here we can clear our results. We can hover over this button to clear or search. So clear is also up here on the toolbar. Let's go ahead and move through the tabs here. Traditional OLAP. What is OLAP? This is online analytical processing. Remember we said that inquiry and analysis is one of the areas of learning for Blueprint, and in traditional OLAP we talked about a top-down approach or a bottom-up approach. Traditional OLAP is where you start out with a predefined goal, for example, number of movies that Tim Burton directed where Jack Nicholson and Johnny Depp are an actor in one of those movies. And then we get down to, we drill down through the data and get a result. Remember, our paradigm is input-output processing. So I'm going to input now the parameters that I want to use. So I'm just going to go ahead and type in the director. I'm going to search for Tim Burton. Notice when I clicked inside, it went down to title, so we have to go back up. I wanted to point that out. Now that I'm in the directors, I can select Tim Burton, and it shows a list of titles automatically that he's directed. So if we look at Batman, then it shows the actors, all the actors in that movie, quite a few. So then we can say one of the actors in Batman was Jack Nicholson, and then it returns the result. Pretty straightforward. That's how traditional OLAP works. And the key here is that a cube of data has many aspects, more than two dimensions. We say that this data field for a movie has one dimension where we search the director, or say the x-axis. The y-axis is the title of that movie. And then we look at a third dimension, the actor in that title, directed by that director. So that's a three-dimensional cube data model. So you can slice that cube one way and return all the movies that Tim Burton directed, or you can slice it another way and find all of the movies where Jack Nicholson appears as an actor. Traditional OLAP works in this way. Now the Qlikview model is a little bit different. Notice we have a many-to-many relationship, whereas before we had, for each element in the array, a one-to-one mapping. In Qlikview we have a many-to-many mapping, an arbitrary many-to-many mapping. So we think about now in the Qlikview model, if I deselect Batman and deselect Jack Nicholson, now I see all the movies that Tim Burton directed, all the titles, and all the actors in all the movies. So Tim Burton's contact list would probably contain all of these actors. But if he wanted to filter it out by when he worked later on Ed Wood, it's a smaller subset of actors. And then you can click that again to deselect it. Remember, the gray is not related. White is related to the green. So let's look at Batman again, and these are all of the actors in that movie. Let's take a look at Jack Nicholson. So on the dashboard, since we had selected the title, Batman, the actor, Jack Nicholson, and the director, Tim Burton, we can hover here and see that the rating was a 3. Jack Nicholson appeared in one movie where the title was Batman and the director was Jack Nicholson. We can eliminate that by hovering over this and say unselect Jack Nicholson, and now it shows all of these actors in the movie Batman for the under the direction of Tim Burton. And then we can clear Batman's movies out again, maybe just append Batman Returns by holding that down, and then we see all of the actors in both movies. So we can start to append more and more. We can say also, let's do Edward Scissorhands, and then we could see different actors. Hover over here and change that to the director, or back to the actor. So we can see the ratings. 2 films got a rating of 4. 1 film got a rating of 3. In these movies. Edward Scissorhands, Batman Returns, and Batman. So if we eliminate Edward Scissorhands, now one of the movies got 4, the other one got 3. So we can drill down by time here. One movie was released in '89, and then 3 years later the sequel was released. So we have the aspect of time, the quality of the movie, and then we have we can see the reoccurrence. Every 3 years we might expect Tim Burton to be able to release a new Batman movie. So let's go on over to analysis. Now the rating has gone up from the '89 Batman to the movie Batman Returns. So that's one way to, or that's the length, I'm sorry, that's the length of the movie, not the rating. So Batman Returns probably got a worse rating. Yeah, this is the length. The length has gone up, so that's one trend. And then under the movie list, yeah, Batman got a 3. No, Batman Returns was rated higher, surprisingly. And it was shorter. Shorter minutes. Average length of movies over time, I see. Okay. So that's where we just select one movie or the other. So you can see where when we add more and more items to the list, we can get different analyses of that. This is one way where we can say, let's build a query now, and we'll return all of the movies that Tim Burton directed that and their ratings. So let's use that as an exercise. Let's go back to the Qlikview model, and we'll look at all of the movies that Tim Burton directed. Under Director, we'll search for Tim. We'll select Burton. We will clear out the year parameter, and we will clear out the number parameter. And now when we go back to the Qlikview model, see how this tab affects that tab. So that's why that data was changing before. So let's look back at the dashboard. These are all the movies that Tim Burton directed, the years that they were released, and on the analysis, let's look at the movie list. He had 5 movies rated at 4 and 7 movies rated at a 3. And so we could surmise that he did 12 movies total. So if I click movie list, we should see 12 there. And we see their rating. Now what if we wanted to create a chart using Excel with this data to find out what kind of ratings he received over time? You can kind of visually check that out and see that it goes up and down over the course of the year. Notice that it's sorted by year. You can do a reverse sort there and say export that to Excel. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and send that to Excel by right-clicking and send to Excel. Now we have the rating here, we have the director, so we can hover over all of this data and then say insert chart, and we'll do a columnar chart. So what you can do when you hover over data in Excel is you can select the whole data set, and then you can right click it and choose quick analysis. Now under charts, we could show the count of the movies. If we hover over there, we can see the count is 12. The average rating is 3. We hover over the sum. He directed a total of 1,200 minutes, a running total. And then you could change the way that you look at data by, say, let's go ahead and do charts, and then we'll say a clustered column. And this is by the number of minutes on the x-axis. Usually time is on the x-axis, and then on the y-axis we have the different movies. Look at different bars. This way we have the rating and the minutes on the same quality. So notice on the x-axis now, 0 through 4 is a very small orange square there, but the minutes are in blue. So one that makes more sense would be to have a percentage rating versus minutes. So there are different ways to look at this data from Excel, but Qlikview gave us really the overall view of average length of movies over time. We can see the trend graphs happening here. We can always export that as a PDF and share that out with, say, a C-level executive who wanted to see the trend of expenditures over time, something along that line. But hopefully that's a good introduction for you for Qlikview and how you can use the results in Excel. For an assignment, maybe take a look at your favorite actor, the ratings over time, for just a fun exercise. Thanks a lot, and if you have any questions, please email helpdesk@ic.edu. Thanks a lot.